Rockingham circuit providing a really exciting challenge, a mixture of very, very high-speed sections as they come from the oval down into the infield section. And a good, strong start from Fenimore once again. As you can see, the number 6 car of Denny being swept up by the pack. And put under a little bit of pressure by Mitchum and by Bialon going around the outside once again. We ride on board with Christopher Bialon as they break down into the hairpin. The road drops away. It's very easy to lock wheels, very common for people to run wide, and that looks slightly what Rachel Green may have done just as she turned and disappeared out of our exit, but she's got a great run down the inside as they break into the very tight right-hander. Look at the way the road drops away, and Mitchum there has attacked. Well, we know Caterham Racing is always renowned for close action, and that was obviously just a little bit too close for comfort. Looked like Mitchum just misjudged his braking, couldn't get the car stopped and turned in, and unfortunately used poor Christopher Bialon as a brake very much so. Once again we see Bialon trying to give Mitchum as much room as possible, but obviously the Taylor's Foundry driver just simply couldn't get the car stopped. We see from another angle it just locked up very, very early on in the corner. The lights are off now on the safety car, so Fenimore's going to be looking to get a good restart and try to work his way away from his pursuers, specifically Craig Welsher. But Fenimore, as we said, a very experienced driver, going back 20 years ago, was racing in Formula First. Remember that? Tyres going off, especially as the temperatures are cooled down a little bit, as we see Reid there, demonstrating once again what we were talking about earlier on here at Rockingham, how easy it is to just carry too much speed. You can see that little dip just at the apex of the corner there. We're in Hyperion Motorsport as we come back on board. Now, is this Christopher Bialon? Well, I think it may well be, with what's left of his car after being attacked earlier on by Will Mitchum. Seems to have got away with relatively minor damage. Not quite sure how well the handling of the car is after that sort of contact. But he seems to be able to be putting a bit of pressure on Bill Addison. And Addison is going to have to be very conscious of defending hard all the way through. One of the greatest designers in motorsport history, of course, famous for his Formula 1 designs, as we see there. Bialon trying to have a go once again at Addison. I wonder how much difference it makes in terms of how much lighter the car is. They're called super lights already. Well, it's that super light with one of the panniers missing and one hanging off. I don't know if it affects the aerodynamics too much. As we said earlier, one of the key things with these cars is because they are a fairly simplistic shape. There's no wings on the car. He's got the run. He's got it done. He's going to be down the inside as Bialon. Really good job of getting out of the chicane a little bit better. Has to balance the throttle there, not quite flat out. But down the inside, back to the action. Here it is. Well, she looks like he's got it done this time. He edges Rachel Green wide. She drops a wheel on the grass, and that in turn allows Glenn Denny to get back in the action, having dropped away a little bit earlier on. Gradually worked his way into the action, and that looks to me like the 4 car of Bialon. Yes, it is. It is, in fact, Christopher Bialon, who's managed to, despite being attacked earlier on in the race by Will Mitchum and being turned around and getting some damage to his car, he's managed to gradually work his way through and get himself back into a top 6 position before the end of the race, which is an outstanding drive. I think really benefiting from the fact that there was the safety car put out for that situation with himself and Mitchum, which allowed him to get back onto the circuit, get onto the back of the pack and work his way through. We saw him putting pressure on Bill Addison earlier on and getting that manoeuvre done. And you can see it really does put a lot of emphasis on getting a neat run through the centre part of that chicane as they charge back out through the quicker section. Now Bialon, as we said already, has made a lot of ground up considering that dramas he had earlier on. Look, you can see a little bit of understeer as he turns into the left hand of the... He's having to come on and off the throttle through there because the front just simply doesn't want to grip, probably as a result of the contact he had earlier on. Turns in, the back then steps out. This is what we're saying, into corners like that. You can see a lot of drivers tend to use the brakes all the way into the apex, into the centre of the corner, just to hold the nose, and you can see he's using every bit of road. They're using the curbs all the way in and out of the infield section here at Rockingham. Very much a different size at Northampton as we see that, and Bialon has come back to get on the back of that scrap. He's really got his head down and he's charging hard to put pressure on Ratcliffe. He's thinking about the outside run, or is he going to use this as a cutback? That's what I think he's going to try to do. He's going to try to get a run coming out of the corner to get himself round the outside, but that's going to be difficult. What it has done, though, is he's compromised Ratcliffe. He's almost on the grass. He just about ducks out of that one in time. And I think it is a bit of do or die for Bialon at this stage of the race. He's come from so far back after that drama early on that he is determined to get himself every position he can. And at the moment, in terms of championships, he's still edging his way into the top 6, so he's determined to get as many points as possible. Goes in, turns in, gets a little bit wide. As a result, look at the sideways action on the way out the corner there. That's what happens when you pitch the car in from so late a turn in. That's always going to shift the weight too much away from where you need it most. Just almost a little bit of contact there. He's just getting to the outside. He's going to be on the outside line though as they come down and break for the chicane. Can he maintain that? If he can just stay out wide, he might be able to just, no, couldn't quite do it, just be able to tuck back in again. He's thinking about getting the run though, just getting to the inside here. This is where he's going to have a go. He clips the apex, well, more than clips, clatters the apex. And I think he doesn't really care in terms of damage too much now. It's already pretty much got bits of it hanging off that weren't designed to be hanging off. He's just trying to put the car to the inside now of Ratcliffe. Almost does it, ducks out. Again, you can see the understeer that he's got. Hands are turned, the wheels are turned, but the car's just drifting wide. He gets down the inside of Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe dives across and blocks the manoeuvre. And this time he may be able to just get the cut back again. Oversteer on the way out. And this is a classic example of why these cars are so good fun, so much good fun to race. Because you can drive them in lots of different styles. You can use an aggressive style, a smooth style. You can position the car off the normal racing line and still get speed out of the car, still be competitive. And certainly it's given us some entertainment. We picked a good car to carry our camera here at Rockingham this afternoon, because this young man certainly has been a star of the show in terms of entertainment value. Again, chunks of rubber starting to come up. That's been put down over the course of the race weekend. Things like F3s, GTs, and of course the Caterhams we're watching here, but it is Fenimore. Is he going to be able to get it done? He seems to have done just about enough as he comes out of the chicane for what looks like it's going to be another victory for Fenimore. He charges across the line to take the checkered flag and to get a double here at Rockingham, but it is going to be Rachel Green, who looks like she's just about done enough to get past Glendenny as they charge to the line. Just about edges it out. Fantastic racing all the way through to the end of the race, but another win for Fenimore from Craig Welsh and Rachel Green. Glendenny just pushed back into 4th. Ratcliffe, great drive from Christopher Allen all the way into the top 6.